Yeah, baby, it's the weekend. Happy Saturday to you. It is what, the 16th? Is that right? Yep, March 16th. We're looking at 11 o'clock in the morning right now, Western Iowa. Hope things are going well where you are. Let's check out the hazards across the country, the watches and warnings and whatnot. And there's not a lot, which is probably good, right? Winter is that a winter weather advisory coming off of Lake Superior there in the UP of Michigan, a little bit of Wisconsin. I think I've got the color right there. Either that or a winter storm watch. I think it's winter weather advisory. We do have a big area of red flag warning for the northern plains. So South Dakota, Minnesota, and just a tiny bit of northwestern Iowa. So again, be very careful here with anything that could cause a spark. And if you smoke, keep your butt inside the car. All right, some river flooding issues still in the south. So you know where you are. You know who you are. I'm sure if you live near one of those rivers, you know. All right, northern New Mexico, winter storm warning. Parts of southwestern Colorado also. And winter weather advisories for other parts of Colorado. The big dump of snow in the mountains to the west of Denver has stopped. As a friend of mine got like 3 feet of snow west of Denver. So, yeah, it was a lot. I told you it would be. Mike said it might. All right, Utah. Looking at winter storm warnings as well. Southern Utah and winter weather advisories, I believe that is. The winter storm watch color is so close. Anyway, a little bit of fog, which is very unusual. Dense fog advisory for parts of southern Arizona. I lived there for 16 years in Tucson. I think we had like 3 foggy days. Slight exaggeration, but it wasn't very often. Once a year, if that. All right, we also have a small part of California with a red flag. Is that a red flag warning or is that a winter storm warning? I think I'm going to go with winter storm warning there in some of the mountains of Southern California. Very interesting. All right, we'll find out when we go through our European model today, and we'll see what's going on there. Actually, we can see it here with a mixture of precipitation, Southern California, Nevada, Arizona, into Utah. Some of that is heavy snow in Utah, heavy snow parts of New Mexico into Colorado. That transfers over to thunderstorms for the eastern plains of eastern New Mexico, or the plains of eastern New Mexico. That's better. Also, most of Texas, and as you get closer to the Gulf Coast and San Antonio, that's either severe weather and or heavy rain, flash flooding possible. We'll go over that in more detail here in just a second. Cold front coming through the northern plains into the upper Midwest. And colder air will be sinking all the way to the Gulf Coast in time. We'll show that to you too. A mixture of precipitation for the Great Lakes and Northeast. Here is a look at your severe weather. Confined to Texas today. A slight risk of severe weather, which is higher than a marginal risk. So there probably will be some severe storms in here. Damaging wind, large hail, the main threats, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, maybe Alice and Beeville. I'm not as familiar with South Texas as I should be. I've been through there once. I don't know if Beeville is further south than this area in yellow, but anyway. And then the marginal risk is a wider area of Texas, which would include places like Waco, Austin, over to Houston, even a little bit of Louisiana, down towards Eagle Pass even. So that's the severe weather threat. Will there be tornadoes? Well, maybe. It's a small chance, but that includes San Antonio and Houston and Corpus Christi. So watch out here with your 2% chance of tornadoes, perhaps. Now, tomorrow, our cold front moving out of the out of the Midwest and further south in the plains. So all the way through Oklahoma now into Arkansas, Tennessee, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York. Behind that, a mixture of precipitation. Well, really all of the New England, a mixture of precipitation. But in Michigan, it's snow and lake effect snow for western Michigan and the UP of Michigan, both off of Lakes Michigan and Superior. And then further south of the cold front, large area of general thunderstorms. There's a little bit of severe weather in here. We'll show you actually along that stationary front in the south. But mostly it's general thunderstorms, North Carolina, all the way back into Texas and southeastern New Mexico. Behind that in the Four Corners, a mixture of precipitation with some areas of heavy snow in northern New Mexico. Here is tomorrow's severe weather threat. Along the Gulf Coast from north of Corpus Christi through Houston, through the coastal areas of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, North Florida, and into Georgia. And then just general thunderstorms in the light green. Tornadoes tomorrow? Well, maybe. Again, it's a slight risk. Louisiana, coastal areas of Mississippi, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, northern Florida, and into Georgia. Your surface on Monday, let's go there. That cold front all the way down to the Gulf Coast into central Florida. There will be a small area of severe weather possible ahead of that front in central and southern Florida. Otherwise, it's thunderstorms clearing out behind, colder and drier, with snow off of the Great Lakes, and also a mixture of precipitation still Arizona and New Mexico with some areas of heavy snow, New Mexico, and a little bit of Arizona. All right, let's take a look and see what the GFS has to say about all this. This will get us through the next few days, through the rest of the weekend, and into Monday. Again, looking at our timestamps here, we're at 7 o'clock this morning, Saturday. So this was several hours ago. Hang on, I'm going to clear my throat real quick. Much better. All right, our big low in Canada, and this is going to be the driver of the cold air behind it. That's kind of one of our biggest weather stories here for the next few days, is the cold air that's going to dump into the eastern half of the United States. And this is going to go a little further south than we were talking about a few days ago. So as we go through time today, we see the low making progress, eastward progress in Canada. This gets us up to 4 o'clock this afternoon. That front moving through Iowa and into Illinois, and then our area of showers and thunderstorms in Texas and Oklahoma this afternoon. A little bit of snow lingering in southwestern Colorado, and a little bit of rain in Southern California, and that is snow in the higher elevations. That's why that watch is there. We see our thunderstorms in Texas flaring up still in our area of concern. This would be tonight at 10 p.m. or so, Texas time. A few showers and thunderstorms into Arkansas as well. Our cold front making a little bit more progress further south overnight and into the Great Lakes. We're not quite overnight yet. Okay, now we're overnight. As this low again continues to drive that cold air south and east. Our area of thunderstorms continues in Texas into Louisiana. Looks like snow for northern New Mexico into southern Colorado. And our thunderstorms get kind of more intense early morning tomorrow, moving into Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, and still lingering back in East Texas. So some heavy rain here, some embedded thunderstorms here. Watch out for some severe. Also snow further south in New Mexico, maybe getting down to Ruidoso in the Sacramento Mountains here in southern New Mexico. Certainly rain out in the plains, approaching, say, Roswell here, Hope, Artesia, Carlsbad. Snowing up in the northern mountains of New Mexico, Espanola, Santa Fe. A little bit of snow here in the Four Corners as well. Cold air making it further south. We're now Sunday. This is late morning, so this is about 10 a.m. Central Time. That cold front making its way into Kansas and Missouri, through Illinois and Indiana, through Ohio. And on the East Coast, we've got a mixture of rain and snow here in the Northeast. And our heavy rain with some isolated severe along the Gulf Coast right now, Louisiana, Mississippi, with a few scattered storms out ahead of that for Georgia and Alabama. Again, this is 10 a.m. tomorrow. Then as we move into the afternoon tomorrow, we see this area of showers moving eastward. And again, this is our concern of severe weather, maybe some flooding, rains too, with some of the heavier showers. And our cold air sinking further south now, almost pretty much through Missouri and Kansas now, getting into Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, and through New Jersey. Everything north of that is a little bit breezy and colder. So I don't know if yeah, kind of about, wouldn't know if I would say it's going to be brutal like winter temperatures, but kinda. Again, Monday morning here, I live right about here. Monday morning, our low is supposed to be like 17, so that's not warm. And there'll be some wind with that. So the wind chill is going to be single digits probably. So yeah, this is going to be cold. This is Monday morning, 1 a.m. So this is what I'm talking about. This cold air in the Midwest, in the Great Lakes, in the Northeast, in the Northern Plains, Central Plains. And watch how far south this goes. This is going to go, before we were talking about maybe making its way to South Carolina. Well, it's going to make its way well into Georgia, this colder air, this cold front. So be on the lookout for that. Just kind of a brief bout of some cold air heading into the Carolinas and parts of the South. Meanwhile, we have some rain still coming down here in South Carolina, Georgia, and parts of Florida, and just see how far south this cold air goes. I mean, it's well into central Mississippi here. But we're starting to see the warm air already coming in behind it in the plains. So the cold air going south, and then it's going to be moving east. The warm air is going to be coming back in behind it to warm the Midwest back up. But look how far south this is. I mean, we're central Alabama here, central Mississippi, through Atlanta, through half or more of South Carolina, North Carolina, all the way to the coast in Virginia. So this cold air is going to make good progress, first south and then east. And I mean, we're talking all the way through Myrtle Beach. Could wake up to some freezing temperatures by Tuesday morning. And this is Tuesday early in the morning, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. East Coast time. So it could be freezing Myrtle Beach to start the day Tuesday, and 20s probably up here and teens. But again, that warm air moving in behind it. So where these blue lines were in the plains, now we have red lines in the plains. So the warm air is moving in as the cold air gets shunted further to the east. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet. So let's go through our highs this weekend, starting with today. And let me just go through this real quick. You can see what's going on. This is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. See what's going on? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, as that cold air moves southward. So today we're just seeing a little bit of the cold air, the coldest air up in northern Minnesota, northern North Dakota, with 50s here in Iowa, 60s, 70s, and 80s as you head south. 50s for New England, except 40s up in Maine and Vermont. And for the West Coast, not bad along the coast. I mean, pretty warm, 60s and 70s. Now for tomorrow, again, it's getting colder in the northern plains, in the Midwest, as the cold air advances southward. Still on the warm side, Florida in the 80s, still warm on the West Coast. And then Monday, cold air makes even further progress south. But you watch watch Nebraska. See, Nebraska, we got 47, I think that's Hastings, 54 on Monday. So warming up in the central plains, northern plains, turning colder, Great Lakes and east. So that's pretty interesting. And we can see it too on our surface map, right? So the surface map today, there's the cold front. Surface map tomorrow, there's the cold front. Surface map on Monday, all the way into central Florida. All right, what's going on the rest of the month? Precipitation-wise, it looks good for above average precipitation, much of the country. That's good news for much of the country. I know some places have been getting soaked this winter. Maybe you don't need it, but certainly in the plains we do, and we will take it. Temperature-wise, turning colder again for the western half, western two-thirds of the country. This is the last week of March. Through the 29th, and warmer than average for New England, along the East Coast, parts of the Great Lakes, and South Texas. So that's your weekend forecast getting into Monday for you. Just a cold front coming in through the eastern half of the country, and possibility of severe weather in Texas. The threat of tornadoes is small, so that's not the biggest concern. Just watch out for some damaging winds, large hail. That's no fun. Otherwise, kind of a quiet forecast compared to the last couple of days, which is good. All right, I hope you have a great weekend. We'll update you tomorrow if I get a chance, and I'll certainly work hard to do that. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in the Weather Mike. See you later.